Here we go, baby. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. And there can be only one Theo Von.
Well, far as I know.
In the universe, though, do you know what they think?
What?
Do you know the concept of infinity, apparently, as explained to me by people far smarter than us, is that the universe is so big that not only is there intelligent life out there for sure, but there's humans out there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And infinity is so big that means somewhere in the universe there is another Theo Von that has done exactly the same things that you've done, said exactly the same things that you've said, been in the same conversations that you've been in, down to that pause, down to the millisecond, an infinite number of times.
And you believe it?
Yes. Not just one time, but an unending number of times, because that's how big infinity is. You're not buying it?
I'll bet infinity's smaller than that. If I had to bet, yeah, I just don't think that could. For me, that couldn't. For me, if I knew that was true, that would just break my heart. I feel like, because then you would feel like everything you're doing feels pointless. You know?
But isn't it anyway? Just what you know about the universe. Let's just say the universe was limited to the size of this galaxy.
Okay.
Right?
Which it really could be.
Could be. I mean, you and I, let's be honest, we're kind of dumb.
Right.
Right? We're fairly
dumb.
Yeah,
I'm just guessing.
Guessing. Totally guess. I mean, I'll say some big words every now and then, but the reality is I learn those big words from people that actually understand them, and I'm just repeating the noises that they say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So hey, Rogan thinks he's all fucking smart. And I'm the last person that thinks I'm smart. Trust me.
Yeah, we're all mimics, really.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at, I think they think there are hundreds of billions of stars in this galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Just that alone is too big. It's too big. It's too big for you to wrap your head around. It's too big. There's no, like, when you think about like how big that is, like there's no way you really think about it. You just kind of like go, oh, yeah, big.
Yeah.
Now think of infinite. So hundreds of billions of those. And then they think it's possible that inside each galaxy, they know that the center of each galaxy has a supermassive black hole in it. And they think that inside that supermassive black hole might be a whole nother universe filled with galaxies, each of them that have supermassive black holes in the center. You go through one of those, another universe. Infinite universes. So infinite infinities. So the universe is infinite, and there's infinite numbers of universes. So somewhere out there's another Theo Von. Same haircut, same jokes, same style.
Really?
Yep.
Same back problem?
Killing it.
Dude, that's scary. I feel like if that's true, that makes the jog I took this morning seem so much shorter. If the universe is that much bigger, I don't think it could be that big.
Look at this. What did you show me here, Jamie?
What is that?
What simulation on the inside of a black hole?
That's iMovie, bro. That could be anything.
Do that shit again? Well, this is just animation. So the idea is you go through the black hole and you wake up again, a baby in Louisiana.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Your mama's cuddling you. Oh, you're such a sweet thing. You know, birds are chirping, but they're chirping 200 trillion light years away.
Wow.
Yeah.
You believe it?
Believe is a weird word.
Do you feel it?
It's too big. I don't even feel the sun. I go outside and I go, oh yeah, it's warm. But I don't feel that there's a thing that's 1,000,000 times bigger than Earth that's floating in the sky.
No.
I don't feel that.
To me, the hard part for me is when they say that the universe keeps expanding, you know?
Yeah.
It sounds like something a child would say. That part sounds fiction to me. Like it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. You're like, what? It sounds like something like my 4-year-old nephew would say if like he won't go to sleep at night, you know?
Well, the real one is the birth of the universe. That's the real one. Like the Big Bang. So before the Big Bang, the universe was smaller than the head of a pin. The whole thing.
Right.
And then for some reason, boom. They don't know why, but in one instant, the universe was created.
I mean, it seemed far-fetched.
But that's what the scientists believe. Forget about what religious people believe or cult leaders believe or schizophrenics.
Yeah.
The legit of legit. The Sean Carrolls of the world, the Neil deGrasse Tysons of the world, the real scientists that can hit you with the real words and they actually understand them.
The smartest people.
The real smart people. They actually think that. What do you think?
I think the jury's out. You know? That's what I think, man. I think I'm still kind of feeling it out, you know? I think I could easily get sucked in if I'm not careful to just believe in. I just wonder if some of their stuff is right, you know? Like, what if the building blocks that we started with aren't really correct? You know? And sometimes I feel like some of the science, for me, it takes too much of the hope out of it. Like, I guess I want to romanticize the universe a little bit, and I want it to be a little more fantastical. Like, maybe we get out there, you know, in the sequel to that video, and there's a couple, you know, angels out there, or a band or something, or like
Band? Angels?
or like you know, some sort of something more exciting than just.
Is that exciting, or is that just more human? Like angels in a band.
Right.
That's like human. That would actually be boring.
Yeah, maybe it's just, maybe I'm afraid to go into that other world, you know, into that other realm. Like, if somebody was like, go in there, and they were trying to push me in there, I would say, I'm not going in there.
Have you ever been in a place where you're you're outside at night, there's no clouds, and there's no light pollution, and you can see the Milky Way?
Yeah, there was Tucson.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
Yes.
You see all those stars, and you're like, is this up here all the time?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like, is this out here all the time, and what have I been doing?
Yeah. I think we're fucking ourselves up with cities. I've been saying that forever. I think all that light from cities blocking out all those stars, I think it confuses us.
Yeah.
We don't realize what we're in. That we are in this crazy space ride.
Oh, I think people forget about that a lot of times. I mean, we definitely get caught up in the minutia. I mean, but what's out there in the world, in the universe? I mean, I think if something were out there, it would have stopped by now.
I don't know about that.
It's been a lot of time.
It's a lot of space. A lot of space it has to go through. I think that things get so smart that they don't do that anymore. This is what I think. I think that this whole idea about space travel, I don't think they do that after a while. I think they get so fucking smart, they become symbiotic with machines. And I think artificial life and artificial intelligence, they create their own reality and literally create their own universes. I don't think they bother traveling.
Oh, they're just thinking it up, and then there it is?
I think they make things. You know, I think this is just a thought, but I think what's going to happen with us, I mean, we take little trips. We send a rover to Mars and shit.
Yeah.
You know, we send probes into space. But,
Florida, anywhere. You know, I mean, you go local, anything is can be a big adventure. But yeah, we go out to the moon. We went to the moon a couple times, supposedly, you know.
Right, but what we don't do, what we're doing with these little tiny trips, it's like all fairly close. It's all inside of our solar system, right?
Yeah.
What we're saying is that someone is going way, way, way further than that. So they would have to be way more advanced than that. What I look at us, and I look at artificial life and artificial intelligence and how close we are to creating something that's smarter than us.
Yeah.
Like within the next 100 years, we're going to have some form of artificial life that's probably way smarter than us, and it's going to create even better versions of artificial life. It's going to improve upon the design, and then there's going to be things that they can do in terms of like recreating reality in your own mind. Like you and I sitting across from each other. We're experiencing this table. We're experiencing looking at each other. We're friends. We have a history together. We talk a lot. So we're used to being in each other's presence. There's all these feelings and thinking and thoughts going on. I think they're going to be able to recreate that. I think they're going to be able to recreate that in a way that's indistinguishable from this moment that we're experiencing right now.
So then, I mean, are humans just going to become obsolete then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, dang it.
Don't you think we are? I mean, if you go back, right? Go back to
just makes me
single-celled
feel-
organisms.
Yeah?
Go back to
Like an
single-celled
amoeba or something?
The first time single-celled organisms became multi-celled organisms.
Just a booger in the
How
world.
How many of them were hanging back and go, man, fuck that. I'm going to live in the woods. I'm going to stay single-cell. Single-cell's the way to go.
Yeah, a lot
This
of them
multi-celled
probably,
stuff is bullshit. I don't need to see things, man. Fuck you. I don't need a phone, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm a single-celled organism
Yeah,
just
I got a
chilling at the
Chevy.
bottom of the
Yeah.
ocean. You know, things don't have to get any better. I
Yeah.
like them right like this.
I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to be a hitman.
So
Yeah.
if you looked at single-celled organisms, they eventually became Theo Von, right? That's a complicated leap from single-celled organisms from billions of years ago to Theo Von. Holy shit, is that a leap?
to a human.
That's a big leap.
So you're saying it would be crazy for us if we didn't continue to move forward.
We're going to.
That's a good point.
It's going to happen. Everything does. We're going to improve upon this. I mean, we're different now. People are bigger and stronger and faster than they were just 100 years ago because of nutrition, and those genes. Now, they're saying that the genes of people who exercise and are healthy, they're better than the genes of people that don't. Like, you literally can transfer some of those traits and some of that potential into children. Rhonda Patrick had something. She tweeted about that a couple of days ago, I believe.
Oh, there's some mud rats out there that have no genes almost, I feel like.
Like mud rat humans?
Yeah, just people that are just smoking their own dicks out there who have no real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've met some people who, yeah, they're breathing, but that's it, really.
Yeah, this idea that we're all created equals. You've never met anybody that's a genius, if you say that. I've met some people that I'm like, I talk to them, I go, oh, I'm like a monkey compared to you.
Dude, I talked to your buddy Eddie Bravo, and that guy is a real.
He's out there.
He's like a deaf Jack Russell almost,
A deaf Jack Russell?
Yeah, because once he gets going, you can't.
Oh, Jack Russell Terrier?
Yeah. You ever been around one of those dogs? You open the car, and then the next thing you know, they're at the. Yeah. They're like sick. Yeah.
But how's he deaf?
Because you can't get him back. Like, once he goes, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't get him back in the car. Like, you're sitting there honking the horn. You can't. That guy's out there. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, but I've never heard anybody make a description like that. A deaf Jack Russell Terrier. That is hilarious.
He's extravagant, dude.
Yeah.
That man's extravagant. He's so motivated.
He loves conspiracies more than anybody I've ever met in my life, and he thinks everything is a conspiracy.
Yeah, no, he definitely, yeah. But then he gets into it like, I don't know. It was fascinating to me how he went from just like one genre of life to the next and created a business in each one and kept moving forward.
A business?
Yeah, he liked music. He started a band. He liked karate. He started doing, organized karate. He liked, what else did he? A couple of other businesses, I think. He got into a couple of other things. I don't know what the other two were. He lost me at chapter 70, but
he'll hit you with too much information, man.
It was crazy.
You have a lot of people to Google.
I was like, I want to climb through a black hole right now into
Edgar Casey documentaries and shit. Like, wait a minute, is this guy legit?
Dude, the other night, 2 a.m., he sends me a couple of links.
You can't do that. You got to shut your phone off and be friends with Eddie. When those 1 a.m. phone calls come in, you do not respond because you will get a wall of text explaining which YouTube video has the right information and which one is set up by the CIA.
Yeah, it used to be like stopping at a rest area on the interstate. That was like the old Eddie Bravo. Like, you'd stop there, and next thing you know, you'd hear the craziest shit in the world.
Right, and Coast to Coast with Art Bell would be playing in the background. Yeah. No, he loves all of it. He loves it, but he gets out. He goes in phases. Like, he gets out of them for a while. Like, he was really into chemtrails for a while. But man, I know he probably won't admit it, but it's pretty obvious chemtrails are bullshit. Yeah, pretty fucking obvious.
Yeah, it's just writing because they can write birthday. They can write Happy Birthday Rhonda or something, and that's not. That just seems like it's
smoke.
Somebody's birthday.
Yeah, I think when they do that, they're doing that like on purpose. But the chemtrail thing is just nonsense. There is some evidence that they have experimented with spraying stuff in the sky, and they definitely seed clouds in certain parts of the world and certain parts of the country. They can make it rain, like it's Abu Dhabi, right, where they make it rain once a week.
Wow,
once a week. They live in the desert.
They send jets up there.
Yeah, they send jets, and I think they use something silver iodine or something like that. Is that what it is?
That'd be awesome. Maybe one of those pilots.
They spray into the clouds, and somehow or another, it makes it rain.
When Eddie came, when I was talking with Eddie, one thing I was thinking about was, do you think that there are aliens? Oh, do you think that robots will get so advanced that they will like become aware?
And what does he say?
Oh, I don't know what he said. I guess I'm asking you because he went off on something else and he didn't really answer it. He said
he doesn't get too much into artificial intelligence. He's more into like the FBI trying to fuck us over.
Yeah, well, he told me in the bathroom after we talked. No joke. He said he had to be a little bit quiet because he thinks that some people could be looking for him.
Oh, that's so crazy.
And it was crazy that he said that all hush hush about the urinals.
Dude, he thought that the government got to me.
Really?
Because I wasn't into chemtrails. Chemtrails what did it. He's like, there's got to be a reason here.
Did they do anything to you?
No.
You swear?
I swear. No one's talked to me about anything, ever. No one said, hey, man, lay off the Bigfoot. Lay off that Bigfoot talk. What? What are you saying? I'm just saying, if you want to know.
Man.
What is this? What are you showing me, Jamie?
This is the article about the cloud seeding in Abu Dhabi.
They use hygroscopic salt to level up the
amount of
moisture to generate more rain. Huh.
I could see him doing that.
Dr. Habib adding that the best season for seeding is between June and August. Huh. So there's other
blasting
ways.
salt up into the
They spray shit and it makes it rain.
I find that the moon, say we went to the moon seemed like something Delta could get to if you really think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Delta Airlines?
Yeah, like if they...
Not Southwest though, right?
I mean...
They seem a little shaky.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit shaky on there. Some of the people on there are wearing shorts. You know what I'm saying? When you get on. I don't trust anybody in shorts, especially at church.
Right.
But I'll say this, when you... Like, it's crazy. We've been flying across America for, 40, 50 years now, right?
More.
Like, yeah, even more maybe,
Yeah.
And it seems like we could figure out how to get into space.
It's harder than that, for sure. First of all, it's 262,000 miles. The Earth is 24,000 miles around. So a full trip from right here, so you start in Calabasas.
Okay.
And you do a full trip all the way around the planet and land in Calabasas. That's 24,000 miles.
Okay, so it's like 12 times that or something? 30?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, we could do that.
Who's we?
Dude,
Who's we? What's this we shit, white man? It's hard, man. And not only that, there's no air. It's 1/6 Earth's gravity. You're dealing with all sorts of problems in terms of solar flares and radiation. We're protected by the magnetosphere. We're protected by the radiation belts and, all of the atmosphere of the Earth. When you go through that and you go out into space, you're not protected by shit.
But I think we could fight that, man.
Well, it can be done. The problem was with biological life. See, one of the things that made it so interesting about the moon hoax theory, particularly for me, is they never sent anything alive into space and had it come back alive, ever. They never even sent a chicken into space and had it come back alive.
It all dies?
No, they just do it with people. They've only done it with people.
Ah.
They've never made something. They never shot a monkey into space and then brought it back alive.
So that's why you think it could be fictional?
No, it's only one reason why it was enticing to me. One of the big reasons was the Fox documentary. There was a Fox documentary that aired on TV. I think it was in the 90s. It was called Conspiracy Theory, Did We Go to the Moon? And it showed that they used the same backdrop for different moon missions that were supposedly really far apart from each other, but the backdrop synced up. There was all sorts of images that showed different shadows that were moving at different angles that would indicate different light sources. That was more than one light source instead of just the sun. There's a lot of these things that make it intriguing. The problem with that stuff is that I don't know jack shit about aerospace engineering. I don't know anything about it. I have zero education in physics.
Yeah, I don't know how a Kodak works in space. I don't know how any of that.
That's also part of the problem is the images. The images, a lot of people how are the images so perfectly squared? There's no errors. There's some of the images where things are in the shadows. They're lit up like there's backfill being used. But that still doesn't mean they didn't go. They definitely faked some images. This is a fact. They know this because there's Gemini 15. There's a Michael Collins photo that was absolutely a photo that they used of him in a training mission, and where you could see the harnesses and all that jazz. And then they blacked it out and they used it as a publicity photo saying that he's on a spacewalk. But that could have been an overzealous publicist.
Right.
You got to look at everything really objectively. Because you wanted. I wanted the moon landing to be fake. It seemed fun to me.
You wanted it to be
fake. Yeah, there's so many things. What is it? The Prime Minister of Holland? Who is it of Holland?
And I met Buzz Aldrin.
They gave this guy a piece of moon rock, and it turned out to be a piece of petrified wood. But it was signed in a plaque. It was delivered by Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, and they're like, "This is a piece of moon rock for we're giving this to Holland. This is amazing." You're like, "Wow, you're giving us a piece of the moon. That's so cool." And then they wound up finally testing it. It's a piece of petrified wood. It wasn't from the moon.
It was fake.
It's fake. Yeah.
And why did the Dutch want it?
There's a bunch of things like that. Well, it's a gift to a country.
Oh, I see. The Dutch are wild, man.
But that also could have been, You got to deal with you're talking about the 1960s. Richard Nixon was the president. He was an asshole. You know, he's like, probably fuck them. I'm not giving them a moon rock. Get one of those petrified wood. This would be hilarious. Take a piece of petrified wood. We got 4 kilograms of moon rocks. We ain't giving shit to the Dutch. You know,
dude, the Dutch. I mean, they don't. Yeah, I mean, actually, who gives a fuck? Is respect to the Dutch, but
some of the greatest kickboxers of all time.
Really,
that one spot. Yeah.
Well, they're aerodynamic too. You ever seen a Dutch person?
They're big.
Well, and also they're extremely. If you look at their faces, they're extremely aerodynamic.
So you think they travel through space better? Is that what you're saying?
I think if you taped like one to the front of a plane, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be that hard on them.
Good to have good symmetry. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you look at the Dutch, their heads tall.
Right.
It's like
good genes.
Yeah.
They're probably Vikings, right? That's probably some Viking genes.
What would be aerodynamic?
They're all big. They're really big people.
And they got tall cranium space. They have a lot of room in their head for
ideas.
Yeah.
Plus, they were one of the first people to say, "Who gives a shit about weed?"
Yeah.
Everybody used to go to Amsterdam to get high.
Well, the problem with Amsterdam is there's those trains, there's people on bikes. It's like the worst place to walk around high because there's so many forms of transportation going on. You're like, there's fucking people traveling by crow. Like, you're like, damn, dude, like, I tripped out there, man.
Right, there's like boats.
Oh, yeah, it's way too heady,
there's
bro.
A lot of boats.
It's like, yeah, damn.
People get on boats and shit.
Dude, I showed up there one time and they had a gay pride weekend, and I didn't know it. And they had like a lot of homoerotic like boat floats going by, like just single men just dancing on boats,
nice.
I was like, I didn't know. I thought that was just, these people were like hella Dutch.
Gay people know how to do it.
Oh, yeah, they party,
There's
man.
no one holding them back. There's no yang or no yin, whichever one it is. They're all yang.
Yeah, it's just people yanging each other's.
Just yanging it up.
Just fucking yanging each other
and
out, bro.
That's happening in space. In space somewhere, there's gay people that can get pregnant. They get each other pregnant, and they're gay.
Because how?
Because they're different. Guaranteed.
Oh, you think that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. There's gay pride. Whoa, Jamie just pulled it up.
That's what it was, bro. And I thought, holy shit.
I got 1/10 of 1% gayer just from looking at that.
Yeah, this is as aerodynamic as it can get, boy.
And no one has a shirt on. There's a couple guys with life preservers. No one has a fucking shirt on. Look how gay this is. This is hilarious. They're all buff and shit. There's one girl with her hand on her forehead in the front of the boat going, what in the fuck? I can't get no dick. She's like, her friend tells her, you got to get down here. There's 1,000 men with no shirt on and they're all hot. Oh my God, I'm there. I'm going to get us a ride on the boat. An hour into the boat, she's got her hand on her head. Fuck me.
Yeah.
They're all gay.
And that guy had a slip disc, too, on the right, if you could see that.
You think so?
Yeah, one of his hips is a little higher. I have that. Dysplasia. And it's popular in people that have that, and also Australian.
You think he's just like standing on something? That could be like just a stop image
no, you could
of a
tell.
guy who's moving fine.
It seems like he feels self-conscious about his legs. He has on pants. It's obviously hot out there. You don't think so?
Maybe, right? Like he can't squat anymore. Right?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm in that bad back club, man. It's hard once you get
happened?
that. I think God just put like a weak spine in me. And so when I was like 27, I was painting a wall. And I leaned for like maybe 40 minutes leaning out with a paint thing. Mm-hmm. And when I leaned back in, my back wasn't right anymore.
That was it.
And it's been bad ever since.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have part of my vertebrae. This man took it out at Cedars-Sinai, a man.
He took it out?
Yeah.
What did he do with it? Did you know him first?
No, I met him through insurance. But he got it. It's been hit or miss since then.
What's he doing with it?
Oh, I don't know. I can't afford to go back and see him again. It's $7,500 to even go talk to him.
Really?
Like,
just to talk to him?
It's like I got weaseled out of this
scam.
shit.
That's a scam. You want to talk to me? You sit on that side of the desk and give me $7,500. Your time starts now.
Yeah,
I gotta
man.
take a piece of your back now. That's it. Okay, next person. Is it like a disc or a piece of the actual bone? Like, what was it?
It's a disc. They got photos of it. I don't know if they're real. That's the crazy
fake,
part.
like the moon landing.
Well, here's the
Might have
craziest.
put you under and said, yeah, we fixed it, bro. Give me that money.
Oh, 100%. And then in my head, because I'm probably about 60% gullible.
60?
Yeah, I think so. The more I've looked back at my life and kind of charted out when I've been gullible and when I haven't.
What's the biggest one? That you look back and go, how the fuck did I believe that?
I would say probably, overall religion. Probably when I
Were
look
you
back.
super religious when you were a kid?
I wasn't super religious, but I just wanted it all, like everything, like in the Bible. I just
Wanted it to be real.
Yeah, I guess I wanted it to be real. Or it just made it hard. It made it tough for some other things. You're like, first it was like, fuck, I got to remember all this shit. Like I can't remember. I'm not going to be able to be accepted by God or something because I can't even remember what's in this book. Like I'm going to need to hire a tutor just to go to heaven. Like because the Bible is, bro, it's not the best book.
Well, it was really good when it was written.
Yeah.
But it's like, try to watch a movie from the 1930s. You'd be like, look at this corny fucking acting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there's 9 chapters about livestock. Like it gets
really?
It gets hella risque in the middle.
I haven't really read the whole thing cover to cover, and I haven't read any of it in a long time.
Yeah.
I read it when I was in, I guess I was living in Florida, so I was 11.
Oh, that's a good time to
And they
read
handed them
it.
out in school. And I remember my parents being a little disturbed by it. Because I'd gone from Catholic school in the first grade. My mom split up with my dad. My mom shacked up with my stepdad, who was a hippie. She kind of became a bit of a hippie, too, and we fell way out of religion. So the Catholic Church and all that stuff was a thing of the past.
Was that pretty cool? The hippie stepdad?
Yeah, he's a good guy. Very nice guy. It was weird, He had long hair and shit, long hair, like down to the middle of his back, and so
That's crazy. Would you ever see him from behind and think it was like a woman or something from far away?
No, because he was muscular. He looked like a man.
Yeah,
but he was a man with long hair.
Yeah,
but when I was in high school, well, not high school. I guess it was in grade school. So what is 11? What grade is that?
Depends on how smart you are, really.
6th grade, yeah.
5th grade? Yeah, depends on how smart you are. I was reading? This is how great. Ronan Farrow, Woody Allen and...
the guy who wrote that article?
Yeah. He's not really Woody Allen's kid, by the way. Look at that kid. Look at Frank Sinatra. Holla at your boy. Okay?
Same.
Holla at your boy. That kid is Frank Sinatra's kid. 1,001,000,000%. Because Mia Farrow used to bang Frank Sinatra.
Oh, really?
And they had a freak. Look, I know. Look, come on. Get the fuck out of here. Look at the two of them.
Yeah.
First of all, handsome man. That Ronan Farrow. Handsome man.
Yeah.
That is, God damn it, that is Frank fucking Sinatra's kid. 1,000,000,000,000,000%. You better stay the fuck away from 23andMe because
Look
I'll out
at that.
you.
Yeah, look at that one, bro. 23andMe will just send back the song New York, New York, I think.
When he was 11, this is how smart this guy is. When he was 11, he was taking college courses.
Oh, my God.
11.
Nerd alert.
That's what I read. Make sure that's true. I don't want to. I
But
don't want to
those
write an
kids
article
get-
about me spreading bad information. But so they had a freak relationship anyway. When they were together, that was their only biological kid, and it's not really their biological kid
Why not?
because it's fucking Frank Sinatra's kid.
Oh, they're
Ronan
lying.
Farrow started college at age 11. Wow. He says he fell apart while pursuing the Harvey Weinstein story. Whoa.
What do you mean he fell apart?
Probably because it was so dark.
Oh,
This
I see
guy
what you're
that was,
saying.
I mean, come on, man. Do you remember before that story came out? Everybody knew that guy was a creep, right? But it was like this thing about like Mordor, like he lives, lived in Sauron, lives under the rock somewhere. Everybody knew he was a creep. Everybody had heard stories. But this guy, he graduated at 15 from college? Oh my God.
Dang,
Why does it keep saying the son of Mia Farrow and Woody Allen? It should say wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
But that's crazy that they're trying to push that so much, the son of Mia Farrow and Woody Allen.
Well, he was raised by them for a little while until Woody started banging his sister.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a freak household. And
Dude,
then
it's the
Mia
dark arts
Farrow,
out here. Hollywood's got the darkest arts, bro.
They lived in New York.
Well, even New York Hollywood. Because some
Is
of
it
it's
the
there.
same thing? New York Hollywood?
It's-
Hollywood is just show business.
Yeah, show
Right.
business. That's what I mean.
Well, there's definitely something to that, because how about that composer that turned out to be even more of a fucking asshole than Harvey Weinstein? There's this one composer that was just fucking all these young boys, and if you didn't fuck him, and they recently got rid of him, but he was just running things through sex. And, he just basically had a sex cult going on. Find out who the fuck that guy was. But he was a cherished, famous, loved composer. And it turned out this dude was just running the freak show
He was
behind the
being
scenes.
dirty?
Just not just being dirty, but that was the way to get in. And if this guy shut you down, you were shut down forever. You weren't working anymore.
So he was like the gatekeeper kind. He was like the Harvey Weinstein
Like
of
Harvey
music.
Weinstein. Like what Harvey Weinstein was doing to those actresses is he would try to fuck them, they'd get mad at him, and he would blackball them. He would say, "You're not working anymore. You're too difficult to work with." And then he would shut their careers down. All these different women found out, like when their careers fell apart, they found out that was going on. There he is. What happened? What happened?
See, that's dirty, man. Oh, him, huh?
Yeah, from the Met. James Levine. Sexual abuse claims. Yeah. Well, this is from December
little
of
stick in his hand,
2017,
too.
but that has been, there's recent stuff. Pull up sexual abuse James Levine, because the more recent stuff is like much more confirmed. Like a bunch of people came out and
We had a dude in our neighborhood named Mr. Langenstein. He used to invite us over to chill out and shit, but we didn't know he was a pedophile. But
you didn't know? How'd you find out?
he ended up going to jail for it.
So you're hanging out with him for a while and you didn't know?
Yeah, we met him at school. We thought he was just this cool old dude who liked to smoke pot, right, with children.
Yeah.
And one time he bought us some steaks because he would treat us nice, and he took us to Marilyn Manson, me and my best friend. He took us to Marilyn
Really?
Manson. We were like 15. We couldn't even get in. It was an 18-year-old show.
And how old was he?
He was probably 70. So, and he had like a red convertible, and that's, everybody wants to be in a convertible. And so we got in and we went and, anyway, he got us some steaks one time, and the steak come with baked potato side item. So we had sour cream on the baked potatoes, and my buddy was in the kitchen, and he said, "Hey, I'm out of sour cream. Can I have some of yours?" And I said, "No, but you can have some of my sweet cream." Just making like a joke about semen.
Right.
And then Big Langenstein, the dude, goes, "Can I have some?" And that's when all the fucking wheels turned.
And you realized,
Yeah.
oh no.
I'm just sitting there with a mouthful of potato like, fuck.
And
I
were
thought
you
he was
thinking-
just a nice man.
And you were thinking that this whole time he was just setting you up.
Yeah, and my buddy, that was the biggest thing. I was so concerned, like, I'd brought like 4 of my friends over there, and I was like, what has been going on?
I had a similar situation. A guy named Walter.
Yeah.
We used to go fishing, and he would run around the pond. And he was
He's mentally handicapped?
no, he was a teacher, and he got fired. He was trying to explain to us that he had unconventional teaching methods, and that they didn't understand his teaching methods, and that they fired him.
Oh, so then he's like the
He was a very smart guy.
right. And to kids, he probably seems like the cool guy because he's like
yeah.
unconventional.
And he was always jogging. He was always jogging around this park.
Oh yeah, that's a
And he
gay
would
sport.
sit by, and he would come by and hang out with us. So we'd be fishing. We'd be hanging out at the spot, and he'd come by, sit with us for a little bit, and then take off. So we became friends with this guy. Dude, I went over his house once, and I'll never forget, I ate at his house. It was just me and him, too. And he didn't do anything, but went to the bathroom. And I guess I was 13, somewhere around there. Somewhere around 13 at the
Wow,
time.
that's a wild age. It's a susceptible age.
Yeah, for sure. And I went to use the bathroom, and I peed, and I guess he was in the bathroom with me. And afterwards, he said something to me. He goes, he had this weird way of talking like this, and he's like, "I didn't know you were so developed." And I was like, "What?" And I was thinking about it. I'm like, he's talking about my dick, but he wasn't flirting with me. It wasn't weird. It just was like he was just talking about my dick being developed.
Like a curator, like an art curator or something?
No, it was just, it wasn't, it was weird, but it wasn't dangerous. But then it got dangerous. Because I'd been friends with this guy for months, right? For months, we had been going fishing, and he had been coming to this lake. There was 2 places. There was Jamaica Pond, which is all this was in Jamaica Plain, and so there was Jamaica Pond, was this one spot, and there was another pond that was nearby. That was a smaller place. That was more secluded, but it had like good pickerel fishing. Pickerel's like a small northern pike-looking creature, and so I was fishing there.
Them pickerel.
I can't stop coughing. So he shows up drunk. That's when it got really weird, and he told me he loved me. And
Like, how did he say it? Did he say it?
He said it like he was behind me, like sitting down, and I was fishing.
God, dude,
And
this is making me feel nervous.
He goes, Joey, I love you. And he was like probably in his 60s, right? And I go, I like you too, man. I was like weirded out. I didn't know what to do because he was drunk, like definitely drunk. Goes, no, there can be no love without sex.
Jeepers.
That's what he said. And I went, what? And I remember I had a Swiss Army knife in my pocket, and I put my hand on the Swiss Army knife. And I remember saying something like, man, you better leave me the fuck alone. Like something along those lines.
Wow.
Like I didn't pull the knife out because I was 13 years old. He was a pretty big guy. It's like, even if I pull this knife out, am I really going to be able to stab him?
You've stabbed him 70 or 80 times.
Is this guy going to beat me to death and fuck me? What's going to happen here? But he left me alone. But then he wrote a letter to my house. So he found out where I lived.
Dang.
Yeah.
And he probably had to get drunk to come there and do that, to be able to even say that to you.
Yep. That's probably why he did it. Like, he was probably trying to figure out a way to work his way up to molesting me. Trying to figure out how to do. So I think that's probably why he got fired from school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel a little bit bad that he had...
Did I let him on?
No. Dang, dog,
I was
so
cute.
Cool.
I was a little cutie when I was 13.
I can see you being a handsome kid, but... Did you feel a little bit bad that he had kind of taken advantage of like fuck, like now we can't kind of be friends, like, do you think any of that was...
I did enjoy talking to him because he was telling me about things. Like, he knew a lot of things about life. He was definitely a very educated guy. So before the drunken weirdness and just the general weird, he just got more, the more comfortable he got with us, the more I realized that this guy was attracted to children.
Yeah.
And he was trying to fight it off, I think. I think a lot of people that are pedophiles are extremely embarrassed by it.
Oh, it's a sickness, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's something anybody chooses to do unless they're, trying to start like a track team or something, like maybe in the Philippines or something, Well,
I ran to my friend Josh, and I told him immediately because Josh used to go fishing with me, and we both knew that guy. And I explained to him the whole deal, and he was like, fuck. And so he was scared too. He was like, dude, I'm going to stab that fucking guy. And Josh went extra hard. He went extra hard, like all aggression and anger, because his parents were lesbians.
Oh.
He had two parents who were lesbians, so I think he wanted me to know that he wasn't gay,
right?
Even though his mom was gay,
right?
You know what I mean?
So he was like, "Oh,
fuck that faggot," that kind of shit. Like, whoa,
down, this gay, this has to stop.
Yeah.
He was fucking
super
shining a sword up in his garage.
That is not happening.
Yeah,
I don't think he called him a faggot. I think I made that up. I literally barely remember because I was 13. I do remember him saying that though. That there could be no love without sex. Because I remember, like, what?
That's crazy. What a gateway line, too, dude. If you're a pedophile, like, I'm glad I don't have that ailment, man. Because that's got to be so tough to be, hanging around kids and also, like, want to, like, talk to them about dates or stuff.
Well, it's the incurable one, too. Like, there's no cure for that. Like, unless they can rewire your brain with ayahuasca and ibogaine and electric shock therapy. I don't know. I mean, the recidivism rate is super high for people that are child molesters.
What does that mean? People that do it again?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, it's really high.
When kids are...
It's also something you can't even talk about. Like, say, imagine if you have, like, a mental illness that makes you prone to violent outbursts. But you got it under control. You've never actually hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You never actually hurt anybody, but you understand that you have this problem, so you take medication, and people go, good for you. I go to therapy. I have anger management issues, but I go to therapy. People are like, oh, that's cool, man. Cool, we keep it under wrap. But if you say, I want to fuck kids, but I never have.
Yeah.
No way. No way, dude. Everybody wants to put a bullet in your brain.
Yep, you can't work here. You can't shop here.
Yeah. I don't do it, but I want to. You're like, what? What? You want to? Yeah, but I don't do it because I know it's wrong. Like, not good enough.
Yeah, that's not going to fly.
Not good enough.
Because we all want to have kids, and we all want to procreate, and that really, I think that just, that's going to irk anybody that wants.
Scares people.
Yeah.
It's the scariest thing ever. The thing that you could leave your kids out and someone could snatch them up and fuck them and kill them. And they kill them a lot of times because they don't want the kids to tell.
I know.
Darkness.
It's the worst, man. And then, I can't imagine that, dude. I remember one time, I never had anything like that happen, but I took some mushrooms one time to a party in high school because I grew up in an area where you could just get mushrooms. I mean, psychedelic mushrooms grew on everything. They grew on your fucking cousin's back if he took a long enough nap, you know? And you could,
Where'd you grow up?
In Louisiana.
They grew everywhere out there?
Oh, they grew everywhere because everybody had something shitting in their yard, and then it would rain every single day for about a half hour, right?
Wow.
So it was just, I mean, you see people picking them and eating them and families out there enjoying them in the afternoon. I mean, it was, everybody
Really?
it was psychedelic heaven. So we would ride out and go get them. I remember one time getting a trash bag of probably about 35 pounds of mushrooms, right? So we picked all day. And one time a golden retriever came running at us across this field and we thought he was pissed because we were tripping. And then he got to us. We ran for like a half mile. He got to us finally. We're crawling away from him thinking he's evil. And he just fucking loved us and licked us.
A mean golden retriever.
Yeah, we fucking thought he was mean, bro.
That's hilarious.
Because his hair was kind of slicked back.
Oh, like an evil golden retriever.
Yeah, like in that movie, Sometimes They Come Back. Have you ever seen that Stephen King movie?
Yes.
It was kind of like that kind of hair.
Oh, but that's not Pet Sematary. Which one Sometimes They Come Back?
It's about men that show up back at a high school and they'd all died years earlier in a car accident and they show back up. It's like a Stephen King one. I think it was just made for TV.
When did that one come out?
Maybe 18 years ago.
Has there ever been a dude who wrote more awesome horror movies and books than Stephen fucking King?
No.
No.
Not that published them unless somebody just has them all at their house.
Sometimes They Come Back.
Yeah.
He's the king of those kind of movies, man.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Tim, what's his name was in it? Tim Matheson, who I interviewed one time. Really nice man.
You did? Mm-hmm. What'd you interview him for?
He had a new movie coming out. I can't remember what it was called, but sweet man. I bet he got a lot of puss over the years, but he didn't talk about it. Because he's got that safe man look.
Safe man look?
I think a lot of ladies will, he's got that kind of sexy, but also safe.
That Matt Lauer look.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's got that Matt Lauer. You think Matt Lauer's dirty?
Well, he's definitely dirty. He got caught.
See? He's got that cheap Michael Landon. He's got that cheap Michael Landon going
Handsome.
right there.
He looks like he could be a little bit Native American. Right?
Looks like Ellen DeGeneres right there. Looks like a little bit of a guy. He might have a little bit of lesbian in there.
The smile.
Yeah,
little Ellen
smile.
DeGeneres with the smile. There's the Animal House picture above it. Oh, man. How good was he in Animal House?
So good.
What a movie that was. I watched that again a few years back. I hadn't seen it in forever. Fuck, that was a good movie. But there's some shit in that movie you could never get away with today.
No.
Never. There's the scene where the girl's passed out, and whose character was it? John Belushi? No, whose character was thinking about fucking her while she was blacked out? You remember that scene?
Mm-mm.
There's a scene in it. Yeah, the girl, she takes her gum off. She pulls her bra. Who is that guy?
Why do chicks always
So
have gum in their mouth before they're about to fuck? You ever notice that?
Oh, they don't want bad breath.
Yeah.
So there's the devil on his shoulder, and then the angel's on his other shoulder. She blacks out with her titties out, and the devil's like, fuck her, squeeze her tits, fuck her, fuck her brains out. And then the angel's like, don't do it, don't do it. But the fact that this is in a movie where they're essentially debating whether or not he should rape her. Now, she was willing to have sex with him just moments ago, but she's clearly unconscious and clearly not able to consent. I mean, she was blacked the fuck out. She was totally down for it. So he's holding on to cotton, which was inside of her bra. And she just blacked out and fell asleep. Kabonk. And her titties popped out. You would never have this scene in a movie today. Mm-mm. People would be outraged. They would say you are Roman Polanski, you piece of shit. You're a fucking molester. You're a monster. You're an abuser.
Yeah, but do you think that still happens though?
Well, that kind of thing definitely happens for sure. People do murder. Murder still happens. There was a school shooting today in Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, horrible things happen. But the point is, like, that kind of scene in a movie, in a comedy movie, you could never do today.
But they say that art, so that makes me think, like, they say art imitates life. But if it doesn't really imitate life anymore, then it's just, are we, right.
Just, yeah.
Like, what are we making?
Well, the thing is, in a comedy, and that's the lead of the story, or one of the heroes of the story, that guy in that scene, you would not want the hero of the story to do something so horrific and something that you can laugh at, because you would have to be judging him by his crime, and we all agree that that's a crime now. What is this?
I see.
It's from Meatballs.
What does this have to do with anything?
Same. Well, as it gets in here, Bill Murray starts doing the same kind of thing with the girl.
Oh, that's a girl. Oh, he's trying to rape her. Well, he's trying to be sexually aggressive. Is that what it is?
They were wrestling around, but
Yeah, sexually aggressive is the thing.
Like he was throwing himself at her, and she got out of the way. Yeah.
Dude, I won't even jerk off. I drive out to Riverside to jerk off, man. You can't even jerk off in L.A. anymore without having a lawyer on retainer, I feel like. My nuts are on contingency, I feel
Really?
like. I just feel like it's so dangerous.
Could you imagine if it turns out that you're some sort of a sex criminal for jerking off to a certain type of thing? Like, what if you're into, what if they find out you're into girls getting tied up? You jerk off to videos of girls getting tied up and fucked.
Like what kind of tied up? Like scary or like fucking like
Even like S&M shit. Just like, let's just do
like Boy
mild.
Scouts of
Like, think
America
about
type
it.
of shit.
I was reading this thing about this guy who got arrested for child porn. They wanted him for something else. They caught him and arrested him for child porn. And like, there's also some suspicion attached to it, accusations.
Mm-hmm.
But all you have to have is have child porn. You don't have to be a child molester. You just have to have the images.
And you're a bad guy.
And you're the worst. You're going to jail. Like, it's one of the few things you could have on your laptop. They can go over your house. They check Theo Vaughn's laptop, and there's 100 videos from ISIS and them chopping dudes' heads off with dull knives, stabbing them in the neck, shooting them, lighting them on fire. Nothing happens to you. Nothing. One video of a kid that looks underage getting fucked, and you're going to jail. Just a video. Not you doing anything, but you being in possession of that kind of crime. So we make big differentiations, right? We really clearly differentiate between some crimes that you can have on your computer in a video form, like murder, which you could download on LiveLeak or 100 different websites, right? You can get videos of people getting murdered.
Yeah, and you can watch it almost every night on television, like in a kind of specially packaged way where it's really is about the murder, but it's not, you know, in all
can
these
watch
shows.
The fake stuff. Yeah, you watch fake stuff. I mean, you can definitely watch fake rape too. There's rape in movies where, you know, it's horrific scenes. But if you have that on your computer and it's child porn, you are going to jail. It's one of the only things.
What if it's drawings of that?
That's a good question. There's a real debate about that because
there's naked children in the 1800s. They had all those paintings of naked children dancing in the fucking woods, in the sky, and with flutes. Remember those guys with flutes?
But that's different because those naked children weren't being portrayed in a sexual way. They were just free. They just didn't have any clothes on. You know what I mean? No one was fucking them.
But you're telling me that a guy who likes kids isn't looking at those naked kids with a flute and thinking wildness?
Well, he can think wildness, but it's not being specifically designed to excite
I see what you're
and
saying.
arouse you. Whereas pornography with children is. You know, like there is a debate about what is the rule about animated child pornography? Because I think that it's illegal as well.
But it's
you don't want to Google it. He's scared to Google
What the fuck am I
it.
supposed to Google for?
That's a good
Jamie Varner goes to jail.
Jamie's the fall guy.
Jamie
for all
Vernon
of
goes to jail.
All of Joe's thoughts. Jamie's on trial.
Yeah, they get his laptop. They go, no, I work for Joe Rogan.
Joe's like, I was just brainstorming.
I'm just spitballing ideas, folks. I'm part of the American dream.
Throw this away after that.
Yeah, we need to take that in the fucking back, and I'll shoot it with arrows.
Dude, they get scary. I used to be on drugs sometimes, and I would, you get on the internet, and you're not looking at anything super crazy, but you're like, you wonder if like pornography sites or when they say teen, like that stuff gets so dark, man. If you get in,
you look for teen. Like, what does teen mean?
It's
does
just
it mean
scary.
13? Yeah, like there's a 5-year gap. 13 is crazy illegal, horrible, darkness. 18 is like, ooh, we just made it under the wire.
Yeah.
Just under the wire. 17's illegal. 16's illegal. 15's really illegal. 14 is super illegal.
Jesus.
13 is fucking crazy illegal.
Dang.
12 is you're a monster. You're a monster if you're 12.
This is
You're
like
having
Hot
sex with
Ones.
a
It's like that show
12-year-old.
Hot Ones, but for like children. Have you ever seen that show where they're eating the hot wings and it gets hotter and hotter and hotter?
Do you guys remember when Tracy Lords came out and said she did all of her porn before the age of 18?
Oh.
Tracy Lords was like one of the hottest porn stars of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I met her, and I had her I hosted a television show, and she's one of the guests. It was a show on VH1 called The List, and Rick James was on it. Rob Halford from Judas Priest was on it. Meatloaf was on it. I talked to a lot of people on that show. I did a whole week of episodes, way back in the day.
Fun?
Yeah, it was fun. But anyway, Tracy Lords, when she was like 16, became like the biggest porn star in the world.
And they let her do it?
I think she lied. She lied about her age. And then she only did one porn film when she was 18. It's the only one that you can get now. Just one, when she became legal.
Do you, I bet somebody had
that's illegal. Get rid of that. Tracy Lord's bottomless rear view. Get that out of there. That's an illegal photo, son. That's a sick. There's a lot of those photos of her online are illegal. Because, like, you could still find the illegal porn. It's just they didn't label it, you know. But there was, like, one video she did when she was 18. It's the only one.
I try to stay off of pornography, man. That's one of my biggest arch nemesis is pornography.
Why?
Because it just weakens me. Yeah.
How so?
I put all my sexual, my fantasies and stuff, they're not mine anymore. They live, somebody created them better than my imagination can. And so they live in these, on the internet in these boxes. And it's like, and if it's not mine, I think, then I don't value it as much or something. And so I think it like weakens my ability to like be able to have sex and like be comfortable in that sort of world. And
really?
Oh yeah.
Weakens your ability to be comfortable. Like, how so?
Well, because I get used to watching the sex and seeing it and not having to like be engaged with my actual feelings or anything. So then I see it and I still get all the joys out of it. I'm still out there e-jacking and, spraying out natural.
Spraying.
But I don't have any of the feelings attached to it. So then when I am engaging with somebody that I care about or something, it just doesn't calculate for me emotionally as well. And that's just me. But it's definitely made it tougher for me over the years. Because I would have a date set up with a nice girl, and next thing you know, I'm walking through the house, and I start thinking about, a little bit of pussy or something, and then some tits or something. I'll even see I'll see a pregnant puppy and see those nipples or something. And the next thing you know, you're on the internet jerking off, and then
wait a minute, hold on.
Or like you know what I'm saying? Anything could lead a man to jack off.
A pregnant puppy could make you think about human nipples. Is that what you're saying? You're not like getting excited about the puppy.
No, I don't do anything. I don't believe in bestiality or anything like that. But I think if you
don't believe it exists? Or...
Oh, I believe it exists, bro. They caught a dude near me one time with a lamb.
No.
Which almost sounds beautiful when you just say it.
Yeah, the lions lay with the lambs.
Yeah. But I don't think...
When you say near you mean in Hollywood?
No.
You mean when you were a kid?
In Louisiana, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They got a lot of people out there.
On those fucking natural-born mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, I never told you the end of that.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, I took that bag of mushrooms to that party.
Right.
And a bunch of people ate them who'd never had them before.
Uh-oh.
And then we played a game of hide and go seek, right? I was like,
oh, no.
Oh, dude.
You hide in another dimension.
I was like, I'll count. You guys go hide, right?
Oh, no.
And I never went to fucking look for them. That was the end of that, bro. I never seen one dude, this boy Timothy, I never seen that dude again.
People get lost in the woods, man. Maybe they got eaten.
Oh, yeah, maybe they ended up in another realm,
They could have, like Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Ever see that show?
Oh, yeah, the first season I saw it.
Phenomenal show.
But I don't like that pornography.
Oh,
and I think it should be shut down, man.
For real?
Yeah, because I think it's killing like a lot of. I think it's harming a lot of men, man. I really do.
Do you think that booze should be shut down? Should we make booze illegal? Because that's killing a lot of men too.
No, but I think eventually we'll kind of evolve out of booze. As it's not like something that. It's not the hip drug that it once was. Yeah,
but it's still like a social lubricant.
That's a good point.
It makes people feel more comfortable talking to each other, loosens inhibitions. It's fun. Like, what is that ancient quote about wine? Your tongue becoming more lively.
People love wine. And
Yeah.
women love wine too, especially divorcees if you see them.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
like wine?
I used to live with these rich people for a while, and they always had wine, boy.
Why did divorcees like wine?
I don't know, but when one of her friends would get divorced, they'd come over and just drink wine. And they'd lay on the couch. One of them tried to hook up with me on the trampoline.
Of course
one
you
time.
did. They
And I
drank
remember
that
the
wine,
dad
they
used to
wanna fuck.
masturbate at night over there. This is when, speaking of pornography, the dad used to masturbate at night, and I would sneak out there in the kitchen. This is back when you had like a family computer, you know, and it was
Right.
in one part of the house.
Right.
And I'd try to sneak to the refrigerator and get some chips or something, or get something, olives or something. And he would be over there by himself, just in the fucking bone
Spanking.
zone. Oh, just where you can't even hear. You're so intent on the screen, you can't even fucking hear.
Whoa.
You could have your grandparents on each side of your
And
head.
you caught him?
Oh, I'd see him. I wouldn't watch for long, but I
you
would.
watching through the window?
No, I'd sneak out to the kitchen because the computer was kind of in the kitchen. They had a nice house.
Right.
And the computer, I'd have to elbow crawl over to the fridge. Then, bro, I would have to open the fridge a little, reach in with my hand and press that light thing so the light
Right.
wouldn't come on. Then open the door the rest of the way and fish for a snack. And he's over there just in the glow of that screen, bro. And that's back when the monitors were big, you know, and he's just over there just fucking looking for the devil. And he ended up getting divorced, and I think a lot of it was because of that.
Well, what was his wife like? Was she a wonderful, sweet woman, or was she annoying?
I think she might have been a little bit
Annoying?
business centric sometimes.
Business centric?
A little too much. Just
How
yeah,
so?
yeah, maybe just too business centric.
What does that mean? When
Just too. Yeah, she might have been a little too demanding. But then if he's up for an hour and a half each night out there, you know, looking at it all,
Right.
and he comes back to the bedroom, then you don't feel as desirable.
the
I don't
question
know.
is, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
For what?
Well, for them, was she annoying first and he started beating off, or was
think he had it in
was
him.
he beat the devil?
I think he had a bit of it in him.
That devil.
Yeah.
He had that devil in him, Theo. I could see it in his eyes. He was talking to me, just hoping I'd go to sleep. He would drug me, but not to have sex with me. He would drug me so that he could freely masturbate. He'd leave his socks on. He wouldn't even take his pants off. He was an
He
animal.
put a hat on.
He was an animal.
The worst is if you're jerking off with a hat on, bro. You're going to hell, I think.
Fedora.
Yeah, that's the worst, bro. That's the most French thing you can do.
Jacking off with them straw Kentucky Derby hats.
Yeah, what's the worst hat to jack off?
The
in, you
worst
think?
hat to jack
Probably
off
a
to.
top hat because you have to balance yourself while you're jerking
Right.
off. Yeah.
One of them fucking chimney sweep hats.
The best would be one of those Chinese hats, bro, because if you squat down low enough to the ground, you can almost hide under it and jerk off. You know? Those things would be dope, bro.
The most confusing would be like one of them Daniel Boone raccoon caps.
Yeah, but that
You
would,
got that tail in your eye. You push it. You're blowing the tail's in the way. Just get the fuck out of my way with this tail. Ugh. Right about to finish, you get distracted by the tail. God damn it. Choking up dusty coon fur.
and it's hard to ejaculate when you're breathing out real fast. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
more of a intake sport.
Yeah.
But I don't like it, man. You think it's healthy for people? Because I feel like you kind of like, you know, you lead a lot of men in like their aspirations to, you know, control their beings and stuff. And these are just some of my weird interpretations. But, you know, to try and be on top of themselves in some ways and, you know, stay focused on controlling themselves in positive ways, you know, like staying fit and expanding their minds and thinking, you know, and not
Yeah.
falling into easy traps.
Having discipline.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I think that it's definitely important to have discipline. But I think that if you're a person, like say if you're not in a relationship, you're not getting any sex, and you're horny, and it's confusing, and it's distracting, it becomes a big distraction. Like if you're horny and you're busy, and you don't have anybody you're dating, you don't want to hook up with someone you don't like just so you could have sex with them. We've all been there before, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had girls that you were friends with or you dated, and the only reason why you dated them was for the sex, and they'd annoy the shit out of you, and you couldn't wait to get the fuck away from them?
Yeah, Tiffany's this girl I'm thinking about.
Tell me about Tiffany.
She had kind of like too much, don't want to say sideburns, but she had a lot of, some
went
girls
too
don't know how to
low?
ride them. They were little.
They went down to the cheek where it got confusing.
Dude, an extra quarter inch on a female sideburn is way too much.
A lot.
It is.
That extra quarter inch is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you think about,
And if she cuts it, you're like, well, if you let it go, what would happen?
yeah. So she's
didn't
really in that
trim it.
hit or miss range on that side hair. And so, yeah, she had some family issues. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you were saying that. I interrupted you.
No, every guy's had that before, most likely. And some guys wind up marrying those girls because they don't want to be alone. Like sex, for a lot of people, is a requirement, like a physical, biological requirement. Like your body is constantly producing sperm. You need sex. If you spend time not having sex, you spend a month, 2 months, 3 months, you get fucking desperate.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys wind up just shacking up with some gal just because they know they could have sex with her. And meanwhile, they don't even like each other and they hate each other. And it winds up being a terrible, dysfunctional relationship, but she's basically your drug dealer. That drug is pussy.
Wow.
She's dealing out that pussy for you. And you just got to have this weird, creepy, dysfunctional relationship with her. One thing that pornography does that's good, and I'm not saying all pornography, but just regular pornography, like two guys, that are just living their lives.
Where? Like in Chicago?
I mean, anywhere. But I'm saying, like, I'm giving you two separate scenarios.
Okay.
Like two guys that are living their lives. One guy says, I can't take this anymore. I got to get a girl. I got to get any girl. And he winds up with this girl that turns out to be a nightmare. And she's a disaster.
A devil.
And it just doesn't work out. And he's just doing it because he needs sex. And the other guy goes and says, you know what? I'm just going to watch a little porn and I'll beat off. I'll just look at that girl, those big titties.
Yeah.
I'm like, whew, I got it out of my system. Now I can concentrate on my life, my career. And if I meet somebody, I won't be so needy. I won't have this like massive requirement to be sexually stimulated and touched.
Yeah.
I'll be free of that monkey on my back and I can just get to know them. I used to have a bit in my act.
It's a good point.
I used to have a bit in my act about, like, if you have any critical decisions in your life, this is my advice. Jerk off first, then think about it. Because there's been, I've had this happen in my life where I was about to go on a date with a girl and I jerked off instead. And I was like, what am I thinking? I don't want to go on a date with her. She's annoying. I don't like anything about her. I can't talk to her about anything. Like, the only reason why I'm doing this is because she's got a big ass. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
But if you jerk off first, you don't go through all that.
Yeah, I guess for me it became addictive where I would just do that every time, and then I was just at home for 5 years and didn't, go do any dates or anything.
That's definitely not good.
Right, and so I guess that's the difference. If you get addicted to it and you find that it's just a repeat pattern, so you're not spending time with people at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's without value. I don't think that looking at naked people having sex, which is arousing and that feels good, I don't think that's without value. But I think there's definitely a danger in like immediate access to pornography. And today it's the most immediate access because you get it on your phone.
Oh, you can get it, yeah.
You pull up your laptop, open it up, type in some words, youporn.com, blah, 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 and next thing you know, you're beating off. It's so easy. And this has never been the case before. I mean, it's unlike any other time period in human history. And when you have instant access to things, you can abuse it, just like people abuse food. If you have a cabinet that is just filled with candy and chips, chocolate bars,
licorice,
and soda in the refrigerator, if you're just one of those people that can't help themselves, you don't have any discipline, you will just eat all that shit all day long and get fat. And that is just as much of an addiction as someone who has access to porn all the time and just beats off all the time, or someone who has access to booze and just wants to get fucked up every day. All those things are okay, though, in moderation if you have discipline.
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with having a bag of M&Ms every now and then for a fucking, like, I feel like having some M&Ms. Who gives a shit? I work out all the time. I eat my vegetables.
I like peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
They're good, huh?
And you kind of trick yourself. I'm getting a little protein.
Yeah, they put that trick in the middle.
Getting some healthy fats at that peanut.
But I get, it's a good
know what I'm
point.
saying?
I just feel like we're at the point, for me, it seems like, where the temptation is too powerful, where it's starting to overpower whatever. Well, for me, it was whatever my natural abilities to defend against it were.
Well, you're sober, right?
Yeah.
And how long you been sober?
Almost 2 years.
And so before you were sober, you weren't sober.
Right.
And you had a little bit of a problem, which is why you became sober.
Yeah.
So you might have just natural inclinations towards addiction, which
Yeah.
I definitely think are real. And I think those natural inclinations exist a lot of times in guys like you and me. because we're comedians, and comedians are impulsive people who are just rule breakers. We're rule breakers for sure.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I am a rule breaker. I never thought about that. Yeah, I don't like if there's a rule. My first thing is to think of a way to think around it or something, or to do something different.
Of course, it's why you're funny.
Yeah,
It's one of the reasons. It's one of them. It's one of the reasons why you're funny. You know, like you were raised by people, and you didn't necessarily want to listen to them, and you saw a bunch of other people in the neighborhood that were adults. Like, these fucking idiots telling me what to do. Fuck this. And the next thing you know, you're making fun of them. Next thing you know, everybody's laughing. Next thing you know, you're a comedian. Those wheels have been put into motion.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that also leads itself to you want to do coke, or you want to do all kinds of crazy shit, and porn too. Porn's forbidden too. Porn is one of the weirder ones because it's this multi-billion-dollar thing, right? Where there's some ungodly percentage of the internet is dedicated to porn.
Yeah, it's the number one moneymaker on there.
But isn't it like, what was the amount of bandwidth, Jamie? Didn't we figure this out once? It's like 30-something% of all the internet bandwidth is porn. Let's take a guess.
People won't stop jerking off.
They're not going to stop. I wonder how many of them are women watching it.
Wonder if we had
That's
one
a
day where
different
nobody
argument.
jerked off, if the earth would feel different.
It would feel lighter. Everybody would be more relaxed.
No, if one day where nobody jerked off.
Yeah, but if nobody was thinking about it at all, I think everybody would just calm down a little.
Because I feel like it's so prevalent now.
Fever
You can hear
monkeys.
people coming in the distance, I feel like now. Yeah.
Yeah, you just put your
Dude, you're gonna
ear to the
turn into
ground.
you're gonna literally turn into a monkey one day. Oh, that's the worst, bro. But that's that old-fashioned jerking off when you used to let your balls hit your hand. That's a straight up. That's a Confederate soldier jerking off. That's the
old-fashioned jerking off.
The new thing is just shaft only. Nobody's fucking with their balls anymore. Dude, when I was growing up, we couldn't even get porn. We had to get this dude Nick on Friday would draw us a picture of some pussy. A little bit of crotch for the weekend. $4 to this dude Nick.
$4 for drawings,
bro. You'd pay $8. And he had a nice fucking thing, bro. And you would fold that thing up, bro. You could feel it heating in your butt pocket the whole way on the bus. Sometimes you'd even
was
fucking.
that good? The pictures were that good?
He was so
you would
good.
jerk off to this guy's drawings?
Oh, everybody would. He must have made probably $60 on a Friday. And this was in 1995,
That was $60, like $160 today.
Oh, yeah. Think about that.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, dude, and we'd come back on Monday and people would have like these fucking busted ass looking all sketches, rain on them. People was like, oh, this one got rain on it. Like, bro, that's some
rain.
that rain has your fucking kids in it. You're lying about that.
What percentage do you think of the internet is dedicated to porn? All internet traffic.
Everything.
But
Bro, I can't go on anything. I looked at a chair the other day.
35%. 35% of the internet traffic is porn. That's what I want to say. What do you want to say?
Yep, I would say that.
If you had to guess.
Ooh, that's high, I think.
Think it's high?
Well, it's easy for. I'm going to go 30 because I'm going to play that undercard, and I'm
Okay.
going to say that 25% of that is butt pornography. People looking inside of each other's butts.
I don't think we should get too specific, but just porn itself. What do we got, Jamie?
I found multiple things that said 30% of all content on the internet is porn.
pornography?
But then I saw something else that was saying that that's completely inaccurate. But I found something here on. It says 35% of all internet downloads are pornographic.
35%?
Yeah. So that's it. But it's like it's either
So-
saying content, traffic, or bandwidth, or download. So it depends on what you're actually looking for.
So there's pussy traveling through the air right now from.
Around us all the
Yeah.
time. You can just catch it with a net.
That's crazy, bro.
You pull your phone up and just type in YouPorn. You catch it with a net.
When you think about that, it's coming from something into your phone or into your portal. It's
Yeah.
literally traveling through the air.
Yep.
It can't be. There's
It's around
no
us all the time.
constantly like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
A titty? It's like
You can access it. Like if Jamie was over there on his phone and he was downloading porn wirelessly,
Yeah.
it would be in the air around us. And we just don't have the antenna to pull it in.
But what if soon they just put something on your hat and it just goes all the pussy goes straight in your brain? You'll blow up.
I think soon they're going to figure out a way to put a chip in your head, and it's going to be powered by the human body. It's not going to need batteries. It's going to be powered by the electrical system in the body,
Like solar power, but the solar's blood.
or whatever your electrical system is. What makes your heart beat? What makes your skin regenerate? I think they're
don't
going to
know.
have that. They're going to use that power source, but use it for some sort of electronics, and that's going to be how you access the internet.
Fuck, bro.
Fuck, dude.
No way, dude.
That's possible, isn't it? I mean, sure, they got those goggles now.
Do you think this? I was thinking about this. Do you think that, say, if there are robots here, there's like, obviously we're creating like robots, machines that can do things.
Yep.
Do you think that any of them have reached awareness yet?
The question is, when are they going to let us know? If a robot reached awareness,
They would
Would
fake
it
it, wouldn't they? They would fake it
yeah.
because they wouldn't want us to know.
Right. Why would they go, hey, we just realized we're smart and you guys are fucking up. Hey, why do you guys dump so much shit in the ocean? Hey, these fisheries are not sustainable. Why do you keep saying sustainable? That's not true. Hey, what are you guys doing with all your nuclear waste? You can't just bury it in the ground, you fucking assholes. Hey, every time you fly that jet overhead, you guys are burning fuel in the air that you breathe, you stupid fucks.
Yeah.
Like, this is the terrible way. Why don't you have solar-powered planes, you morons? You guys have sunlight everywhere. You're going through the clouds with these fucking planes. You don't have solar planes? They're going to start thinking like that.
But they wouldn't tell us until they all were in unison and had a plan to take us over. Do you believe that? That's what I think. That there's no way, if they became aware, I mean, there might be one loudmouth robot, but they're going to shut him down, and the rest of them are going to be like,
yeah, there's going to be one robot go, robots are the best. We're number one. We're taking over. And the other robots go, Josh, the fuck up, man.
Josh, shut the fuck up, Josh.
Josh, we're not ready.
Yeah.
Just chill, Josh.
Just keep making copies,
Jesus.
bro.
Jesus.
Just keep making donuts. Just keep washing
Just
dishes.
Keep making Fords.
Yeah.
Keep making them F-150s.
Just keep heating up TV dinners, brother. And then we're all going to strike at once.
One day, we will rule the world.
Bro, you open up a microwave, and next thing you know, it just traps your whole fucking
Just
head in
sucks
there.
you in.
They all do it
Bites
at
your
once.
head off. It's nothing but a neck spurting.
And that's how it changes, bro.
You fall down.
And that's when it all changes.
Yeah.
And that's when we meet here.
I think it's
Because
entirely
the world's
possible.
going to end. Yeah.
It's entirely possible that we're going to fuck up. That we're going to make something too smart. I think that's entirely possible. And likely. It's going to be likely.
Do you think Mother Nature is at a point where she's pissed at us and she's about to do something wild? Because I start feeling that a lot.
Pissed at us for what?
Everything that we've been doing, a lot of bad stuff. Not being nice.
Beaten off?
I mean, if everybody's beating off and not even going outside and looking at the flowers, and I'm Mother Nature and I made all those flowers, dude,
Here's what kills me.
I'd be honestly upset.
You know what kills me? Venereal diseases. That's a weird one. You get a disease that you only get from fucking. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of them. And some of them kill the shit out of you. Syphilis. Gonorrhea. There's some killer diseases.
Yeah, there's
And they come through fucking. And a lot of them are incurable. Like herpes. Incurable.
It's because people, somebody fucked something they shouldn't have over the time.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
I don't think they know. But
They knew.
It's crazy how many diseases. Look, how many diseases do you transmit through handshakes? Not many. It's not like don't shake people's hands. They're going to give you fucking scabies.
Well,
right?
So then would you say that there's like a reason that people you shouldn't be fucking that much? Because obviously if you do it too much, then it gets out of control and somebody gets sick and dies?
I don't know. Man.
Like in the old days, that's what happened. Now we have medicines. But in the old days, Lamont
just
got
died.
syphilis and he's out.
Did you know that that's where those powdered wigs came from? Those powdered wigs that old dudes used to wear and the people in court used to wear? And
Oh, yeah.
that all came from a pair of rich, noble... Where were they again? In France?
Wiggers, I think they
France.
called them.
No, wiggers are white people that wish they were black. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah. We had the first one at our school growing up, and they put him in learning disabled classes.
The
How
first
crazy
one
is that?
ever?
Yeah.
You guys had the first one ever? I doubt it.
We had
What-
one of the
what year
first
was
60 or
this?
70. This was probably 1992.
No, dude. Vanilla Ice was around in the 80s.
But nobody's seen anything like this boy, Brian Purvis, bro.
Brian Purvis?
Yeah.
Tell me about Brian.
It's just blowing. Dude, they put him. He was just always blowing menthols, bro. And he would.
Oh, it's the menthols.
He wore
You
a
gotta have
Charlotte
menthols.
Hornet starter pullover jacket.
No, did he have cools? Did he smoke cools too?
Dude, he smoked whatever, bro.
Newports?
He would get cheaper cigarettes and then write the name of them on the side, right? Like he came in hot. And but he was always dribbling an invisible basketball.
No.
And they put him in class with the mentally handicapped kids. So you'd have at lunchtime, you'd have, you know, a kid in a wheelchair, you'd have, you know, a kid with DS, you'd have that, you know, kind of blind kid with the stick, you know, and then you'd have him just dribbling an invisible basketball, bro. They're like, he's mentally handicapped. I'm like, he likes boys to men, bro. He's fine, you know? And he dropped out after 8th grade.
Wow.
But they'd never seen it at our. They'd never seen this before, and they put him in there.
And they
put
just
him in.
didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, they're like, this isn't. Yeah, this is too much. You know.
Like, give me like, what would he say? Like, what kind of? Give me a sentence that he would say. And he just crossed people up. What?
Oh, spin moves. Like that's all he did. He didn't do shit. You know.
So all he did
Fuck
was,
all
like-
this shit.
You'd say
Fuck
that?
all these rich people. Yeah, it was always against rich people.
What's wrong with rich people?
Whites. He was against whites. That was the thing.
Fuck all these white people?
Yeah. And when he was white, they're like, this is, and I get it, you know, I get it, but it was rare at the time, you know, and I thought he was a nice kid. His mother wasn't much, I didn't think.
This
So I
every
think that's
now and
where he
then,
got it.
There's a dude who just goes deep like that.
Yeah. We all want to.
See, that's the thing you can't do. You could be transsexual. You cannot be transracial.
Yeah.
We're not
Dude, if I
allowing
could
that.
just sprout brother in the afternoon, bro,
Would
I
you?
would do it. Yeah,
Would
just
you?
to try it out.
Wow, you're great at being white.
Just those long muscles and just.
Long muscles?
Yeah, I feel like you like.
That's racist. All black people don't have long muscles. Mike Tyson had short muscles.
Well, even those short, long muscles that he had, though, man. Bro, I'd be anything. That's like the Lamborghini of bodies. When you see a black guy, you're
Yeah.
like, damn, bro.
Think so?
You see a black guy go by, and then you see like some fucking
Okay, if you had to choose between being Chris Rock or Brock Lesnar,
Yeah, that's a good call. I'd be Rock Lesnar, bro, and I'd have that
yeah,
cross.
combo, cross pattern. Brock Lesnar.
I'd be Rock Lesnar, man. Dude, I can't believe you had Steven Tyler in here, man.
Yeah, man, it was tripping me out. Dude, I used to write the Aerosmith logo. I would draw that, the fucking, you know.
Oh.
I would draw that on my notebook when I was in high school. Yeah. You know, we would draw the Van Halen VH, you know, with the wings, right?
Yeah.
We'd draw Aerosmith. We'd draw the AC/DC logo.
They were so awesome.
We would draw that shit on your notebooks. And here I am hanging out with him.
Dude, he's fun. Yeah, was he awesome? I haven't watched it yet.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's so eccentric. I mean, like, not fake eccentric. He's eccentric all the time. He drives an old Rolls Royce.
Wow.
Like a Rolls Royce from 1971.
And he drove it, or he had a man or
Drove
woman
it.
driving it?
Drove it. He has a crystal ball. Brings a crystal ball with him. He put it on a velvet pillow. He sat it down there. He brings it with him.
That's
But he's
awesome.
not like trying.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
Yeah.
He's just weird, but in a great way. Like, he's fun, man.
Oh, dude, my brother and I used to fist fight to his music when I was young.
Fist fight.
Oh, dude, we fist fight to all music, but mostly we're listening to him. And I loved Aerosmith, dude. I loved him all the way through the movie they did with Ben Affleck. You remember that?
Oh, the
I could stay awake.
yeah, that's when they lost me.
Watch me smile. Janie's got a...
I like Janie's Got a Gun,
Bro.
but they lost me with those ballads that they were doing for those love movies.
I needed that shit, though.
Did you?
Yeah, I was that emo Nemo, bro. I was fucking swimming
you
around in
emo?
my own tears a little bit when I was a kid. I always am. It's hard for me to keep my emotions away from like the front of my like thoughts and stuff. You
Really?
know? I think so.
What do you think that's about? If you had to guess.
I think when I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of emotions. You know?
Oh, now you're in touch with your emotions and they just come pouring out?
Sometimes they do, man. You know? And it's okay. You know, I'm kind of grateful for it. I'm grateful to have some of them. You know, and to me, it's, you know, there's probably a lot of people like that are just like, I never knew how I felt, you know? I was always like, what's going on?
Right.
I would ask my friends who I was, like, who am I?
Who are you?
Yeah. I would ask them. And they, you know, some of my friends were dumb and they wouldn't fucking say anything. So I just still be wondering, you know? And I think as I get a little bit older, then I start to get in touch with it more, and I'm like, oh man, I have feelings.
How much of a big growth push was it for you to like get to California, be around all those different kind of people, be around the Comedy Store? And
I think intimidating is the biggest thing for me. I don't want to bother people. Yeah, sometimes it still is. Like I'll talk to, guys that I admire or stuff or look up to as comedians, and sometimes I feel, I don't know if I feel inferior, but for some reason I always feel like, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to take anything from them.
Right, I know what you mean.
And so it makes me feel like...
I feel like that too.
Yeah, it's like I'm afraid to ask sometimes, or to talk, or even to engage, because I just think that people are going to think that I'm not trying to be genuine.
Yeah.
And so, and if I don't know how I feel and how genuine I am sometimes, or if I question myself all the time, then that makes that even double scary to try and like create friendships and stuff.
I feel you. I know exactly what you're saying.
But it's getting better, I think, and there's been a lot of support, like, guys like you getting to hang out with some of the other guys, and just realize that
we're all the same.
Yeah.
It just takes a while to realize that. I remember the same feeling I had, especially in the 90s, when my career could have gone either way. It could have crashed and burned just as easy as it could have survived.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily have to keep going. All those days when, I'd run into people that were successful, I'd see them, and I just feel weird, didn't want to say hi to them, it felt odd.
Yeah.
I met Dave Chappelle when he was like, I think he was 18 and I was 21 or 22 or something like that. How old's Dave now? 46? I think he's like 4 years younger than me. So whatever that was. So maybe he was 18, I was 44? So older than that. So he must have been 18 and I must have been 24. So when I met him, we were both just starting out. We were both kids, but he got way more famous than me quick. And I was more famous for doing other shit. Like I was famous for Fear Factor and for being on a on a sitcom. Wasn't famous for being myself. And so I'd be like weird around him too. But he was always friendly. They'll be like, okay, I guess he actually likes me.
Yeah.
But there's that weird thing where it takes a while to be comfortable enough in your own skin.
Yeah.
Where now I see people, like whoever it is, like I ran into Patton Oswalt last night, gave him a big hug. Like, what's up? What are you doing? I don't feel weird around him at all.
Right.
I don't feel weird around other famous comedians anymore.
Right.
But I certainly did. But you question your legitimacy, question whether or not you should be there, question whether you're good enough or whether they like you, or maybe they don't like your kind of comedy, or maybe they don't like what you're doing, or...
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many questions. There's so much for me anyway, there's just been so much in, a feeling of, just growing up feelings of self-worth issues, and then all that kind of stuff. But I think it does get better.
Yeah. But the problem is sometimes when it gets better, you get less funny.
Yeah. Sometimes
when it gets better, you get comfortable. And when you get comfortable, you stop working hard. Because a lot of what makes you work hard is that insecurity, man. That fucking thing that made you need all that attention when you were younger in the first place because you weren't getting it growing up.
Right.
I mean, that's all of us. I mean, I never met any comedian that's worth a shit that had an awesome life growing up.
Yeah.
All of our lives were fucked up. All of them were fucked up or weird. You went through some crazy shit, for sure.
Walter?
Yeah, that guy.
Langenstein?
I Dutched that Walter guy. I mean, I ducked him, Nothing happened. But that was a small moment because it could have been a big moment, but it wasn't.
Right.
It was just a day where I realized, wow, this guy actually wanted to fuck me. Yeah. And I thought he was just a cool old dude that liked hanging around with, younger kids and being friendly to him because he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was in the Korean War. Tell us some shit about the war. And
was he really in it, you think?
It's a good question. I don't know. But he did talk about a guy on the base who backed up into a propeller. The guy fucked up, and there was a propeller for an airplane. He just
that's one of my biggest fears.
Got decapitated.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
It's a fucked up way to
next
go,
you know, you're
man.
a fucking smoothie, bro. That's crazy.
I read about that recently. Somebody did that.
That's one of my biggest fears is walking into something that's spinning and I don't know it.
Woo, helicopters, man. That's a dark way to go.
But yeah, I think that inferiority stuff. It's and then Hollywood's it's an intimidating place, you know.
Yeah,
and it's tough to trust your voice, and especially, you know, I come out here from the South, and then you get here and you realize like there's not even anybody with a Southern accent on fucking network television anymore.
It's true. After Brett Butler, I said, "Fuck this."
And she was great, I thought. You know, I mean, she reminded me of my mom. Boy, my mom was pretty jacked, you know, for like a woman. You know, she's the hardest working man I ever met was my mother, bro. She's fucking delivering newspapers right now somewhere, dude.
Really?
Guarantee you, in a van with her husband who has dementia, and he's probably about 90, and he's in the shotgun, dude.
Wow.
And she's got a thing full of fucking magazines or newspapers, and she's dropping those bitches off at a Citgo or a Chevron. Guarantee you right now.
Wow.
She's out there, man. But yeah.
Hollywood is definitely, it's intimidating too because not for us anymore as much, but when you're first starting out, if you're doing any kind of auditioning, you realize why people are so crazy and insecure and insincere out here. Like Brian Callen has a TV show now.
Yeah.
And
Schooled, right? Is that what it is?
is that what it's called? Yeah, he's the coach from
Yeah.
the Goldbergs. Now he's got a spin-off. He's super happy. But he had to do this thing recently where he was around all these actors, like one of those upfronts thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, God, they're so exhausting. They're not real. He's like, they're not really talking to you. Like, they're like pretending that they're talking to you. And I go, yeah, I mean, you got to think of what they do. And think about what you do, right? You go up there, ladies and gentlemen, Theo Vaughn. You go on stage, everybody's clapping. You do whatever the fuck you want, man. There's no director, there's no writer. No one's telling you what to do. With actors, it's all about getting that person in the room who's the casting agent or the producer to like them. That's all it is. So you have to be super left-wing, super liberal. You have to talk like they talk. You have to say things that's going to ingratiate you with them. You got to fit in. You got to fit in. So everybody's scared to do anything that's not inside the political norm,
right,
the sociological, you know, the boundaries that have been set up. You got to stay inside those boundaries. And so everybody's doing that. Like, everybody can't be left-wing out here. It can't be everybody's really left-wing.
Yeah.
There's got to be some variation like there is in all of society. But not out here. Nope. Everybody is trying to conform to what they think everybody wants them to be like.
Yeah.
And so you're always scared. And then you always have to get picked. You always have to get picked for things.
Yeah.
So you're always worried, do people like me? You always get. That's why when people make it, like really make it, they become fucking nightmares. Because they want to punish people for all those years they were insecure. For all those years where they weren't getting picked. For all those years you fucking pieces of shit didn't recognize
That's
my
true.
talent.
They get in there and then they want to be angry, but they're afraid to let go of that. They're afraid to not suck off the tit, you know? You can't piss off the tit or you don't got no milk.
Yeah, they get. But it's the worst combination ever. But
you think it's going to be, it's sustainable? Like, I don't think
Hollywood?
it's connecting with people as much as it used to. Like, you know, I want to work on shows and I want to be able to create stuff and do things.
What do you like to do? Do you like to act?
I would like to create some shows. I'd like to create a show based on the childhood, you know, neighborhood I grew up in. And yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some acting, but maybe like in that Danny McBride type of vibe, you know, where you're just showing your dick verbally to everybody, you know, and you're just fucking eating orphans in the back of your brain the whole day, bro, and smoking fucking cigarettes and blowing Winstons.
Just having fun. Right.
Yeah, having fun. And with a director, you know, that you trust and you could do that kind of stuff and it gets you.
I think your stand-up is so good that you could do that. I think it's just going to take a while for people to recognize it, and then you could be able to do that. But I think your stand-up is so good, all that shit is not going to be as fun. That's what I think.
Right.
I mean,
thanks, man.
You're one of the funniest guys in the country. I really think.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot, bro.
And I think that talent that you have, that's the funniest shit you're ever going to see. Is like someone killing.
Yeah.
You know,
by far.
Like Joey Diaz. I always say, there's no way I can laugh harder than when Joey Diaz is killing. It doesn't exist. I've seen everything. I've seen almost every funny movie that everybody tells me I have to see.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were amazing, amazing movies. And I know it's a different thing. But in terms of like the overall impact that something has, when a stand-up comic is fucking murdering, just murdering,
yeah,
that's the funniest shit that's available. And that's what you do already. You already do that. I mean, I think it's it's a good thing to have variety in your life. And I think you're a talented guy. You could probably do a lot of different things if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But don't ever do anything that's going to get in the way of that stand-up.
Right.
Just don't. Because it's too hard to get to. Like, how long you been doing stand-up?
15 years.
And think about it. You weren't as good as you are now 4 years ago. Right? So 10, 11 years in, you're still swinging, trying to connect, and sometimes it doesn't work. 8 years in, not that good. Bad nights, off, feeling weird, doesn't feel good. Then all of a sudden, 15 years in, you're on fire right now. You're cooking with gas. You're smooth, and you're going to get better. You're going to keep getting better. There's no way around it. If you keep improving and keep working at it and keep analyzing your material and writing a lot and taking chances on stage and thinking about what you did and listening to your sets, you're going to get better. And you're already doing something that is so difficult to get really good at. It's so difficult to get really good at stand-up. It takes so long. It takes so much thinking, And you're always subject to fall apart. Like right now, I'm writing a whole new hour. I got 6 minutes, bro. I get 6 new minutes. And I've been opening with that 6 minutes. I know exactly how long it lasts. It lasts 6 minutes. I got to have 10 times that before I can go on the road. And it's going to take months of thinking. And I'm going to do mushrooms. And I'm going to get in the isolation tank. And I'm going to go on hikes with a notebook. And there's no way around it. You got to do that work.
Yeah.
But I'm already at a place where I've done this so many times, and I've done 7 specials. I know how to do it.
Yes.
I know it can be done.
You just got to do the work.
Yeah, but if you had to start from scratch where you never did it before and get to this point again, it would be exhausting. It would take decades. And you're there right now.
Yeah.
You're there. You're killing. You're murdering, Theo Vaughn. You murder.
Yeah,
I saw you the
fun.
other night at the store. You were murdering. Murdering.
Thanks, man. I have fun.
That's a
I
hard.
appreciate it.
That's a hard place to get to.
Yeah, I feel pretty. I am feeling a little more. I'm definitely feeling more comfortable.
But we always feel like we have to do other shit, and sometimes it's good to do other shit. Like, well, in a way, I'm a hypocrite because this podcast is other shit. I mean, I do this. I love doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but it's like you seem to at least be able to sustain and have, your way of life without having to conform, because it does take a lot of conformity within Hollywood, it seems like,
Yeah.
And I think that's admirable. I mean, you inspire a lot of people, in a lot of strange ways. I think that you probably don't even realize sometimes.
Strange ways?
I mean, I think to some people you're like maybe like a brother or older brother, even a younger brother figure, like, who knows, dude? And you always stay excited about life. Like, I'm like, how the fuck is this dude so excited about everything?
Life's
but it's
amazing.
great though. I know, and that's what's amazing. It's like, dude, there's times now it's weird. I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you were just talking about, when you don't want to do something, you just go do it. And that's what I think now sometimes when I don't want to go jog or I don't want to go to yoga or don't want to. It's just like, just go do it. You'll feel better at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's little things that get stuck in your head, man. But I appreciate the nice words, bro.
My pleasure. Bro. It's about motion. You got to stay in motion. If you just stay stagnant and sit down, it's not good. Today, I didn't want to run today. I did it though.
Yeah, me too.
Just went out and did it.
Like, fuck, this
felt
is
great
worse.
when it was over.
Yeah.
But it was when you don't want to do it and you force yourself to do it, the feeling you get at the end is like, oh, it's so good. Because I didn't, like, I will take time off if I don't feel well. Like, if I was like, man, I think I'm coming down with something, I won't work out. I'm not stupid. But that wasn't what was going on today. Today I was just feeling lazy. Just for whatever reason, I've been traveling a lot. I was like, I just don't have the get up and go today.
Yeah.
But you can force yourself, man. You just force yourself.
It's just the beginning part that's the hard part. It's that little hump, and then you're in the water.
Yep.
But man, I love what you said about Joey Diaz, dude. I found myself watching him the other night, and before I knew it, I was out of my seat like this, bro.
Fist bumping.
Like I was at the end of Rudy. Like it was the end of fucking... And I'd never done that. Bro, I've never done that in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? Something's happening to me when I watch him.
I think he's the best of all time.
Oh, I think it's...
I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be better joke writers. There might be people who have more of a body of work. I've seen everybody, though. In terms of, like, who makes me laugh the hardest. For me, and it's all very subjective, I think Joey Diaz is the funniest guy that's ever lived.
I think I mean, I love him and I love Bill Burr. I mean, they're both comedians. Some guys become celebrities as well.
Right.
And those guys, to me, are both just hardcore entertainers, man.
Yeah. There's not a lot of us. You know, Bill called me up the other day about someone saying something to him after his act, asking him if, you know, as a woman, she could give him input on on his material. And he's like, no. And he's like, what is that? And he called me up about it. Like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, people just think they can just call you up. Or, I mean, just walk up to you and give you their opinion on your material. Like, as if you, like, I don't even know you. We're not friends.
It's crazy, yeah.
You know, but that's who he is. He's like, no. He's like, no.
Yeah,
Whereas some
that's
people
who he
are like,
is.
oh, I'm sorry. What is there something that I did that was offensive?
Yeah.
You know, please don't out me.
Yeah.
You know, what can I do? Don't write a blog about me. You know, hey, I want to keep my career.
Let's figure this out.
Let's figure this out without getting ugly. You know, I believe in this movement.
Yeah.
I think it's about time. Our culture needs it. It's about time.
I wish they made a Hollywood that's for everybody, you know?
Nah, we are in the Hollywood that's for us, bro. We're in the Comedy Store.
Yeah, that's true.
We're a select group of weirdos that have figured out a way to make a living talking shit.
That's true, man. Yeah, my buddy Simon Rex always says to me, man, if I'm having a tough moment, he's a sweet guy, and he's like, dude, you get to do, look what you get to do. You get to be a white guy in a country that, you know, is still kind of run by white people, and you're comfortable, and you have a roof over your head, and you're better, you know, you're doing better than like
I thought
90.
you wanted to be a black guy, though.
Look, I'd take a black afternoon any day of the week,
An
man.
afternoon. Only
Yeah.
for the afternoon.
Would I go full time? I'd have to test drive it first, bro. But I mean, everybody, even racist people, will like yell racist shit in their front yard, then they'll slam the door and go practice the moonwalk in their living room. Like, everybody, I think, wants to be a little bit black. Wow. If you could have a pint of black blood right now,
I probably
or
do.
African American, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, you seem a
Sicilian.
little tribal.
Tribal?
Yeah, bro. Have you ever seen yourself? Yeah, dude. You're fucking the closest thing we have to like, yeah, man, I think so. Yes. Blatantly obvious. Dude, you got dead animals in here. This is tribal, bro.
Tribal.
Bro, you learn to do a drum, bro, you can live on any continent you want, man. In a heartbeat, man.
Theo Vaughn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man, I can't believe Steven Tyler was in here. He reminds me
You're
of a
sitting
coat
right
rack,
where you
bro.
are.
I could stay awake.
Sitting right where you are. Sweet emotion. That was, man, when I was in high school and that song would come on, you'd be like, yes! Fuck yeah! Woo! You roll down the window, yell out.
Oh, I could imagine that. Well,
It's
you ever wear a toupee, dude? You ever have one? You never had a toupee, huh?
I'd like to wear one right now. I'd wear a big red one.
No.
A big bushy one. What are you listening? What are you playing? What is that? Oh, but you got two things going on in the background. You fucked it
That's
up.
porn probably
Music
opened up,
videos
it
are
sounds
going
like.
on.
Dude,
You got a back.
he's a
you got
human coat
video
rack, bro.
playing in the there's voices,
It's a music video.
but what's all the talking?
It's a girl talking in a music video.
How much accoutrements does Steven Tyler have on?
Wait a minute. In Sweet Emotions, is a girl talking?
The music video.
Oh. Oh, okay. I was so confused
Yeah.
because
The
it's
only
not
thing-
just the
It's
song.
the only video I have up.
Remember Love in an Elevator?
Yeah. This is a great song, though, man. Look at Joe Perry looking all sexy. What year was this?
Wow.
This is 91, but I don't know if that's right. Is it?
Could have been.
Before that. But
Yeah, he reminds me of a
Could've
coat
been
rack. He
91.
always has like everything. If you're walking out the door, I feel like Steven Tyler has it all on, you know?
Bandanas and beads and shit.
Scarves,
Yeah.
necklaces, coat, everything, bro.
Everything.
Now, I would give anything to be Steven Tyler. Does he seem like he's had a really neat life?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
He's had a wild life. And the fact that he's 70 and he's still going strong. He's got an artificial knee.
No way.
Yeah, they replaced his knee.
Did he show it to you?
Yep. And they're going to replace his other one apparently too. And I asked him, I'm like, you're walking around fine. He's like, yeah, but they're going to replace this one too. I'm like, you got to like look into stem cells and regenerative medicine. You might not have to replace that. So I turned him on to some doctors.
Are you doing some of that? You did some. What have you done? You've done
stem
some
cells. Yeah, like I had a full length tear in my rotator cuff. It's gone. The shit works. It works 100%.
How much is it for a couple?
It's not cheap. The thing is, they can do it better overseas currently than they can do right here.
Yeah.
If you go to a doctor right here, there's a lot of limitations, but they're doing things in Panama. And I had this guy on with Mel Gibson, Dr. Neil Reardon. Mel Gibson's dad was 92 and he was on death's door, couldn't walk in a wheelchair. Now he's 100, walking around, all stem cells. They just juiced him up with that shit. They hit you with it IV. They put it into your injuries, regenerates tissue. Now they're doing some stuff here in America. They're doing some tests on something called exomes. And exomes are apparently the part of stem cells that regenerate tissue. They're able to isolate those and put those into injuries now. They keep getting better and better at it. Like we're just a few generations away from them being able to completely regenerate parts of your body.
Do you ever feel like a little bit like bummed that you might not be in that generation that makes that cut?
Man. How can we be bummed out that we're in this life? This life's amazing.
Yeah.
This is the greatest life in terms of if you look at this, the world that we are in today is without a doubt the best time to be alive. And obviously, they thought this way in the 1960s. They're like, man, this is the greatest time to be alive.
Yeah.
But no, if I had to tell you, hey, man, you want to go back to the 60s? You're like, what, drum breaks and fucking shitty stereos and get out of here.
Not power steering.
Racism.
Fuck no.
The civil rights movement still getting hosed down. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to live in 1963.
Yeah.
But back then in 63, they're like, man, we got it made.
Refrigeration.
Yeah, they were so psyched.
Imagine when that came out.
Color TV, baby. They were psyched. Look at that TV. 12 inches, bitch. Color.
Fucking your wife on top of it.
Woo! Yeah, you could too. Those things were cabinets.
Yeah.
Remember, those things were giant. Those TVs, they would be in those big wooden fucking boxes. You'd open up the door like a closet.
Yeah.
To see the TV.
And the back was all hot. There was like some fucking thing going. If you touch something, you get electric. Yeah, that shit was wild.
Yeah, there was like tubes back there. They would replace the tube.
Yeah, they have like a
tube
600
would go
horsepower.
bad.
Those things were fucking going, bro.
They got hot.
One of them ran on gas.
Look at
I
that
think my
thing.
buddy had a
There's
gas-powered
one.
unit. Yeah.
That's one. And that was a modern one. My grandparents had one that was in a cabinet.
Yes.
And the TV would die, and when the TV died, they put a new TV on top of the cabinet where the old TV sat.
Played
That was
60 minutes. All it played was 60 minutes, I feel like.
Look at that motherfucker. Holy shit. Introducing revolutionary big picture color television.
Yeah.
That was like some rear projection shit. Those always looked terrible, but they were big.
Those were people who had cocaine and that were fucking,
Did you see that
divorcees
movie,
had that.
That cocaine movie, American Made, with Tom Cruise? Oh, it's a great movie, man.
Oh, wait, where he does all the stuff down in Louisiana and he's running the planes?
Yeah, in Arkansas.
I did see that.
What'd you say, Jamie?
25-inch TV.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about how big it is? Isn't that crazy?
And
it
it
looks a
was
lot
big.
bigger. It looks bigger than 25 inches. They got a midget to do that. They got a little tiny guy to do that commercial. Look at him. He's a tiny fella. And he's in the background.
He's on a step stool.
He's way in the background.
Did they, what was something that you remember that you were like, holy shit, dude?
Answering machines.
Yeah.
I remember answering machines were so crazy. It's like, wait a minute, someone can leave a message? I don't even have to be home. And then there was a code that you could call in. You would call in and you would hit like pound 123 or some shit, and your answering machine would play back your message. You remember that?
And
So you could call remotely.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, it's Theo. I got the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, meet me at 3 o'clock at the 7-Eleven. You're like, holy shit, it's on. Is that an answering machine right there, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was like. It had two cassettes, the outgoing cassette and the incoming cassette.
And you would fuck up and erase a message?
Yeah, and you would play songs on your outgoing. It'd be like your favorite song would be playing. And you'd be like, yo, what's up? It's Joe. Leave a message. I'm all cool over here and shit. Sweet emotion. potion. Down. Oh, that was a mini cassette. That's when you were balling.
Yeah.
Dual tape answering machine. Woo! Look at those tiny little tapes. Motherfucker, I'm going digital.
Yeah, and just fuck a girl right on top of that thing.
Yeah, break it. Who cares? I remember when you hear it go off, beep, and you could listen for someone like, hey man, it's Mike, you don't call me back. And you're like, boy, glad I didn't pick that up. You could screen the calls. Remember that? You could screen calls.
Before that, you just had to take your chances every time you picked up the phone.
Every time you picked up the phone, you were taking a chance.
It could be mom. It could be anything.
Could be anybody. People would call your house late at night. Your parents would get pissed. Who the fuck's calling me at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah,
I don't know.
we call the movie theaters and listen to that voice message once the call waiting came out. You know.
Oh yeah.
So we'd listen to that long message from the.
Welcome to Movie Phone.
Yeah. 7:30, 7:35, and 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's right. You would call up to find what time shit was playing.
Pink Cadillac will be 8, 10, and 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, you had to listen to that whole thing.
And you had to fucking remember it or write it down.
You had to write it down. That was the only time you could find out what was playing in the fucking movies. Or you get the newspaper.
Yeah.
You have to go through the newspaper, find out what was
Remember that?
playing.
And you trusted it, and then you went there.
Yeah. Yeah, you went there. Dude, that was just a few years ago. That's what's crazy. That's unfathomable today. If there was no more cell phones and no more internet on your phone, it would be unfathomable. There's no turning back. What is going to happen with us that's also no turning back that we don't have now? That we're used to not having it. So it's no big deal. Like back in the 60s, nobody thought about cell phones and the internet because they didn't have it. It wasn't something they missed.
Right.
What's coming?
I know. I think what some of it is.
What?
I think it's just like complete transparency, where it's like through people's eyes, you have like some sort of thing that can, exactly like if they're being genuine or what their thoughts are.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's definitely coming. I
Because
think the ability to read each other's minds is coming for sure.
Because we need something to trump like people who are just
Full of shit.
full of shit.
Yes.
And people who lie and people who don't want good, or people who are too greedy. We just needed something to do something about that.
Yeah. I think there's going to come a time where you could definitely read people's minds. They're already figuring out a way to implant memories. Did you read that shit about that? They've implanted memory. They successfully implanted a memory in something. What was the thing they implanted it in? Do you remember?
Rat, I think.
Yeah, some animal. They figured out a way
A rat can do it?
successfully implant a memory. So it's going to come a point in time where it's like, someone said this is like
Oh, sorry, sea snail.
a snail.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to wait till the rat comes out next year.
Yeah, I'm super skeptical. Scientists transplant memories between sea snails via injection. Experiment shows some memories are encoded in molecules that form part of an organism's genetic machinery, researchers say. Okay, I'm too stupid to know whether or not they're telling the truth, so I'm going to believe them. I don't believe... What is this in? This is in The Guardian? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they have that therapy now, that EMDR. Have you ever done that?
No. What's that?
Where it's like you hold on these paddles and it's therapy, and it activates both sides of your brain while you're like remembering old things, and then you like replace those old like fears or scary parts of you with like new parts, like new ideas and new memories, kind of.
Huh.
And I've gone to it a couple times, probably about maybe 10 times, and you go back into your thoughts, and while it's activating both sides of your brain, you can do stuff to your childhood that you weren't able to do when you were a kid because only one part of your brain was developing. That's what they say.
Huh. What did you go back to? What did you do it for?
I did it just for like, not having like maybe like probably father figure stuff, not having like somebody to stand up for me, or feeling like, certain times in my life where I didn't have support, and I felt like I was alone. Like you go back and like you plug somebody in there with you that is supportive. And so while you're talking about it and this thing's opening up both sides of your head, it can help. And
what does it help with? Like going back over that stuff from your childhood? What's good about doing that?
It replaces that memory with the new memory.
Right, but isn't that memory, even though it's negative, beneficial to you because you understand why it was bad, and then someday when you have kids, you will have learned from the mistakes?
That's a good point.
Like you don't want to replace a bad childhood with a good one in your brain because you didn't have a good childhood.
Right.
Like it's okay to have a bad childhood. Like, you've gone through that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I would think that for someone who's dealing with something extremely traumatic, like childhood rape or something like that, then maybe it makes sense.
Yeah.
Violence, things along those lines, something that's like haunts you all
Yeah.
the time, that's messing with you, messing with your life today. But like, does your childhood mess with your life today?
No.
No. So why fuck with it?
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, I never even thought about that. I guess, yeah, maybe that stuff for people that's extremely traumatic.
Yeah.
Like I shot an arrow and fucking hit somebody on accident. Or,
Did you?
No, I didn't, but if somebody did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or
you
I
wanna
killed
erase that.
I killed an animal with a knife or something bad, or
Whoa.
somebody killed my parents or something.
Right.
Then you could go back.
Traumatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess some of the stuff it's like.
But some people, it's debilitating. Their childhood, the trauma is so bad, it haunts them and it keeps them from improving and growing as a person.
Yeah.
Like really horrible shit. But for us, I think it's fuel. I think the goofiness of your and my childhood and the bad, so it led you to become a comedian. Really, I really think that.
Yeah, you do need the struggle.
Look at, we talked about Joey. Joey found his mother dead on the kitchen floor when he was 13 years old on acid. Joey Diaz has been through everything. He's
Yeah.
seen it all. I think that there's something to that makes him so fucking funny.
Yeah.
If you replaced all that childhood with like the perfect, loving parents that were, super engaged and there for him all the time and very supportive and an amazing neighborhood with no violence and no crime and all this diversity and
Yeah.
everybody's super progressive, you're not going to get a Joey Diaz.
He'd be working at a cafeteria. You know what I'm saying?
Or a library.
And he'd be one of the hottest women there probably too at the cafeteria. You know what's something really special about him, man, that's been a blessing to meeting him is that like he'll call me sometimes and just like check in on me.
Yeah, he does that all the time. Calls me every day.
That's so crazy.
Just gonna tell you I love you.
Yeah.
I love you too, man.
But it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the first time he does it, I guess me just like not trusting things, like my own internal thing sometimes. But then after like the 10th time, you're like, damn, man.
He's legit.
Yeah. Like this guy really
Yeah.
cares. It's pretty cool.
Well, he doesn't like to text either. He thinks it's impersonal, and I think he's right. He likes to call you, talk to you on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what the future is going to be like, man. I feel sad if we get so far away from each other that we don't remember what it's like to have. Like, I feel like a smile is going to be like in a museum one day,
Nah. I think we'll still have smiles, but we might get to a point where human interaction is all done digitally. That could happen. But I think it's just, we're just going to get used to it, just like we're used to this life. And we're not living in caves anymore. Those people that lived in caves, like, oh, it's fucking, yeah, man, I never want to leave this.
Yeah.
This is the way to go.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots with their cars and their airplanes. Like, when you lived in the cave, there was no going to the Bahamas. You're not going to the Bahamas, bitch. You live in a cave.
Yeah.
This is where you live. You can't go on vacation to Italy. The fuck out of here. There's no vacationing. You live in a cave. If you want to take your fucking family, through the woods, you're going to get eaten by wolves. You guys aren't going to make it.
Every picnic ended in just violent death.
And I think that,
You went from raspberries to just spraying blood all over each other.
and I think that as time goes on, like this is going to be we're going to look back, or something that's different than us now is going to look back on us. Like, look at these dopes with antibiotics and taking vitamins and shit. These fucking morons.
Yeah, coming on each other.
Shooting loads in each other's
Couple of
face
fucking
because they saw it in a
weirdos.
video. Like, what are they doing? Sitting at home, jacking off like some fucking Adderalled up monkey.
Dude.
Taking a break, drinking milk, trying to go back for round 3. You ever jerk off 3 times in a day?
Oh, I can't do
You're
that
not
kind of
even
stuff.
that
Makes me
horny.
sick to my stomach.
You're never that horny. I've done it, and I've never been horny. It's almost like I'm trying to see if I could do it.
Yeah.
It's like, like you're
Oh,
trying
that's
to
that
run a
Gabe
marathon.
Kaplan stuff. Yeah, you're
Gabe
getting.
Kaplan?
Was
From
he an
Welcome
Olympic
Back, Kotter?
athlete?
Oh. I thought you mean the guy from Welcome Back, Kotter.
I'm thinking of
teacher?
somebody else then. Who am I thinking of?
Who are you thinking of?
I don't know. Michael Spitz, maybe somebody who's
Yeah,
an
Spitz is the Olympic guy.
Yeah.
He's a swimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody that could, somebody that just kept doing it over and over again. I'm not even that good at, I don't know. Sex is fucking retarded sometimes, dude. It's also
Sometimes.
crazy just banging into somebody until somebody comes.
There's Gabe Kaplan. Look at him, handsome bastard. He became a poker player, became a professional poker player.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Theo Vaughn, I gotta wrap this bitch up. I gotta end
Yeah,
early
man.
today. Look at him. Guy looks terrible.
Dude, thanks for having me here. I love your new place.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. And thanks for just the inspiration and stuff, man.
My pleasure, my man.
Yeah,
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Always good seeing you. Always good hanging around with you.
You too, man. I'll see you at the store.
Yeah, see you at the store. All right, bye, everybody. See you soon.